So if you're one of the ones that does not enjoy cleaning, then experts suggest to pair a task that you don't like with something more enjoyable. So I put together this 2-hour-long cleaning marathon that you can watch while getting all of your cleaning done. Hopefully, having another chaotic mom to clean with will make your cleaning go by a lot faster. This marathon is a compilation of 4 different videos back from when I was pregnant and then finally ending in my postpartum clean. My name is Michelle and I'm a mom of now 3 kiddos, and I'm in a season of life that I absolutely love with my small kids, but don't get me wrong, it is hard. Managing the house, the kids, and work, we just take it day by day. So if you woke up this morning thinking to yourself, I can't do this, then go ahead and take your 3 shots of espresso, put your AirPods in, turn the volume up, and let's go ahead and get started. So even if you only make it through part of this video, then I want you to leave feeling accomplished, achieved, and grateful that you did it. But for real now, let's go ahead and get started.
There's something about your face, can't stop looking your way. What do you do to me? You make it hard to breathe. Ooh. I'm tired of the people that talk about nothing, and I'm not wasting this moment. Even though I know that letting you go would be crazy. Think you know I want you for myself, I don't need anybody else. Wanna leave this place. Meet me in the dark where we can both hide. No one's gonna steal our time again. We don't have to say much, let our lips touch. I will stay with you until the end. Meet me in the dark.
You know, one of the good things about having a 2-story house is that you don't have to go upstairs if you don't want to. Well, unless you have to go up there and put your kids' clothes away, and then you walk up there and go, what the heck happened up here? But don't worry, nobody will see it unless you're like me and you put all of your business out there on YouTube for everyone to see. So now you know what I'm dealing with in today's video. But don't worry, it's all good. All I know is I'm definitely gonna get a lot of steps in today. So the kitchen, the bedroom, the bathroom, the living room, the kids' rooms, the playroom, I somehow managed to cram all of that into this one video. So what's in it for you? Well, sometimes they say cleaning is contagious. So just by watching someone do something can sometimes, maybe just a little bit, get you up and get you motivated to want to do it yourself, especially if you don't want to. And trust me, I never want to. I know I have a cleaning channel and I hardly ever want to clean. So the only way that keeps me motivated is to pick up the camera and force myself to do it and film it. And along the process, I also get tons done. So you can come along for the motivation, the entertainment, the fun, the stories, the mindset motivation, whatever you're here for. Trust me, I'm glad to have you. My name is Michelle and I'll introduce myself more later on in this video. Let's go ahead and get started in the kitchen. And first things first, when you look over and the sink is piled up with dishes, and just as you're about to start cleaning them, you realize that the dishwasher is full. So that's where we'll get started today.
I got this weight on my shoulders, slowing me down. I don't know how it came about. And while the world is spinning faster every night, I feel I'm stuck in reverse somehow. But it ain't no one's fault that I am stuck here. No one to blame this on, feeling so hopeless. I keep on pouring salt on my wounds when I shouldn't stay. I feel the pressure on me, how it's itching under my own
So it's kind of funny, over on my Instagram, I had been sharing like over the last couple of weeks all of these weird food encounters that I've had. So I went to the store and I had bought a dozen eggs, and then I open it and like 2 of the eggs are missing, and I'm thinking, who steals an egg? Or if like the egg is broken and like somebody who works there opens the egg carton and then starts taking eggs out, like would they put something on there? Or the price of eggs these days, I'm like, okay, I got ripped off. And then like a week or so later, I went to the grocery store again, and I do admit I'm not great about like reading into detail a lot of things, and I'm walking by and I'm like, oh, watermelon, cool, I just got that new, if you saw my kitchen organization video, it's like this watermelon slicer. So I like am starting to buy more watermelons because they're so much easier to cut. And I buy this watermelon and I'm like, geez, the price of watermelon, it was like $7. I was like, the price of watermelon has really skyrocketed these days. So anyway, I go home to cut it and I slice it open and it's yellow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a bad watermelon. And I'm reading and it's like a yellow watermelon. And I had never heard of that before. And I did like a poll on my Instagram and I asked y'all, have you ever seen a yellow watermelon? And majority said no, which made me feel better. But a lot of people said they're more common in their area. So that was another thing. And then I was eating, a couple days later, I'm like, I would buy these mini bell peppers that you just eat, or I just eat plain. So they're like sweet mini bell peppers. And a couple years ago, I bought them at Aldi, and I've never shopped at Aldi since then, but not for that reason. But I bit into one, and wherever the seeds are at the very end, there was like these little worms. And I was like, oh my God, I can never eat these ever again. That's disgusting. So it's been a couple years, and then I started buying them again because I like them and they taste good. So I was eating one and I bit into it and I'm like, please don't tell me that that's a bug. And it was a little bug. And I'm like, what the heck is going on with like all of this food I buy? But I know that's so random, but I was just wondering, have y'all had any weird food encounters? Like you go to the grocery store and buy something and come home and you're just like, what in the world is this? Leave me your funny story in the comments down below. So the next thing I'm going to do is clean the sink. I always have to clean the sink because just food and crud gets stuck in the corners, and I'm constantly having to scrub this down. Dawn soap is what I'm using now. Another suggestion I've gotten, because I know that I've asked y'all a couple of times, is Barkeepers is what y'all use to wipe down sinks or stainless steel. So I might check that out sometime soon.
Want to keep it nice and clean, not freak out and cause a scene. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Not sure who I really am, just be cute and super bland. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Been playing it down, but I'm so getting tired. Now won't you meet high? 'Cause I've been feeling that crazy, and I need to lose control. So baby, put the record on, baby, put the record on. Hit it, and I've been needing that crazy, and I gotta let it go. So baby, put the record on.
So for any type of like kitchen cleaner or kitchen cloths, I have actually been using the e-cloths. Those have been my favorite for the kitchen sink or like washing dishes and stuff like that. When it comes to just like regular cleaning products, I like to keep things as simple as possible. Growing up, we just used the standard products like the regular Windex and the most common type ones. But I feel like nowadays they've done a lot more studies on the different types of toxins in products and have gone to a lot more all natural choices. So after like reading an article and doing a little bit of research on products, especially if you clean a lot like daily or you're using products daily, I started looking into just trying out all the non-toxic products, including e-cloth. So I know that some may argue that they don't clean as well. I tried to go at least 80% non-toxic products, and I bought several different brands. And one night I had a bunch of girlfriends over, and I hid the label, and I asked them to tell me what they thought their favorite product was. So I used the Method products, and it was all the same scent. I think it was all lavender scent, and it was all the multi-purpose spray. And it was the Method, the Jaws, the Mrs. Meyer's, the Branch Basics, and then E-Cloths was the last one, I think. So just after talking about it one night, I brought out this like small mirror, and when I covered the labels and then had each of them test out each one. So like, for example, Method was number 1, and then they would all go around and use number 1. And then let's say Jaws was number 2, and they'd all go around and use number 2. And then they kind of based it off of smell, how easy was it to spray, how best it cleaned the mirror. And then I had each of them vote for which one was their favorite. And again, they were all the multi-purpose spray and lavender scent. Besides, I think Branch Basics didn't have a scent, and then the E-Cloths obviously don't have a scent either. So 2 of them voted for the Method, and then 1 of them voted for Mrs. Meyer's. I personally have favorites for different areas, but overall, I would grab all the products. So this is a Method granite cleaner that was recommended by y'all. Actually, y'all are the ones who told me about Method products, and then I started looking for them and slowly started buying a lot of the Method products. But anyway, I have favorites for different areas, but overall, I don't know if I have like one brand that is the overall best with everything. So like multi-purpose, I do agree. I like the Method and the Jaws cleaner. The Mrs. Meyer's has a stronger scent. It doesn't make it bad or anything, but maybe it's just like seems a little bit stronger to me for some reason. And then so for the kitchen dishes and stuff, I like the E-Cloth scrubbers. For the bathrooms, I really like the Branch Basics, and there's this like oxygen boost you can put on there, and I clean the showers and stuff with that. I like the Jaws cleaner for my granite, but now I'm trying the Method one, and I really like that one too. But also for laundry detergent, I use Method. And I used to use the Method dryer sheets, but I just recently switched back to another brand. So overall, I like them all. What are your favorite non-toxic cleaning products? Leave me in the comments below, because I'm also open to trying new things.
Heard the countdown through the haze in the face of defeat, yeah. I was ruled out with no bailout on my own, all alone, left to bleed out. But I rose up from the ground, just like I was spellbound. All the odds were against me, so I picked up the pace, and now I'm in the race. Give me some space. I'm a movement, and I ain't losing. Gonna go, 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 go.
So next kind of disastrous area I'm going to clean is our master bathroom, which my kids take a bath in here as well. So I'm going to kind of pick up all of their toys and then also pick up the surrounding area. But speaking of trying new things, I did want to share with you guys the Oaklean X Pro Elite Sonic Electric Toothbrush. I have not gotten a new toothbrush in several years, so this one was a treat. Now, what is really cool about the Oaklean Elite is that it has a smart interactive touchscreen. So you can basically customize the way that you brush your teeth. So with the touchscreen, you can use 4 different modes for personalized setting. Like, for example, the intensity of the brushing, I ended up turning mine all the way up. The duration button, I like to keep mine at 2 minutes. I think that is recommended by one of my dentists before. Also, the clean mode, so you can clean basically for teeth whitening, a massage. If you have sensitive teeth, you can also select that mode. So not only it being super easy to use, it also has a 35-day battery life. So if you go on vacation for the weekend or something, you don't have to worry about bringing the charger and charging it. So I personally love using this, especially since I can customize it to my teeth and my preferences. And with Father's Day coming up, I think that it would be a great gift that you can get your husbands or something that you can get the whole family. Be sure to use the link in my description box below to get an additional discount just for all of you guys.
I ain't asking for permission, no. I don't have to say I'm sorry. I ain't staying in the background, no, 'cause I don't need your worry. I'm a movement and I ain't losing. Gonna go, 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 go. Like a bullet, won't take no. You should know, no, no, no. I'm about to explode.
So if this is your first time here, my name is Michelle, and I'm a mom of 2 toddlers. So I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And I'm also, if you can't tell, I don't know, you might not be able to tell very well, but I am pregnant. That was a joke. No, I am very pregnant. I'm due in August, so I'm like 31 weeks pregnant. And I admit everything is a struggle, like bending over to pick up a dirty sock. I feel like my back is going to break, but you know, I'm not here to complain, right? We're here to just kind of do the best we can and get things done. So toys are kind of everywhere. The girls, I have 2 girls, so they just bathe in our bath. It's just easier. I can keep an eye on them while I like fold laundry on the bed or something. I can see them. And then, like I said, when I go upstairs and it's a complete disaster, then I'm like, oh my goodness. But sometimes it just is what it is. I know I mentioned earlier that I'm not like really into cleaning. I don't like absolutely love cleaning. And your first thoughts probably coming here is like, why would you create content or have a YouTube channel on cleaning if you're not even like that into cleaning? And you know, I really didn't start off thinking that I was going to do YouTube and clean my house. I kind of started off thinking I was going to go in a different direction with it. And then it kind of evolved into cleaning. So I like specific things within the cleaning motherhood niche. One, I'm a mom trying to survive, not necessarily thriving, but definitely trying to get things done. But I do kind of like the decor space, the DIY space. Getting into organizing has been really fun for me. I didn't think I would ever be a super organized person. So just trying new things out and doing that is kind of inspiring. And then creating content, piecing all of this together has been inspiring. So here we have an amazing community. I like to uplift and motivate even when I am struggling with things, or even if I am not perfect at doing certain things. I still like to share that with y'all and then have y'all share a lot of your stories and experiences with me too. So kind of like when I go off on the like cleaning, rant, that's kind of my perspective and where I'm coming from. So self-growth and self-development has been very life-changing for me, and I feel like it's so important for everyone as well. So I like to throw in mindset topics, because changing your mindset is the number one thing that will change so many things about the way you act, behave, think, feel. And I feel like it's so important, even if just like some tips here and there that have helped me can help you as well. I like to also include that type of stuff as well. But as I'm in our bedroom, kind of picking up and cleaning up the area, I have another funny story. I don't know what it is about these bugs, but so I wake up one morning and if you look to our windows, I don't know when I'll show an angle of that. When you look over by our windows, I have those like long white sheer curtains. And Chris, my husband, had already gotten up and he was outside, and I heard his truck start, and I wake up and it's still dark in our room. And I look over and I kind of I look at the curtain because there's something black, like a black blob on it, but I didn't turn the lights on yet. And I was looking over and I was like, what is that? And I was like, And then I go closer to it, and y'all, it is a humongous cockroach. And I just about flipped out because I've told y'all before, like, cockroaches are not my thing. So I run outside and I'm chasing Chris down to come inside and get it, because when I went out there, he thought I was so crazy. He thought something was like wrong. Well, this was wrong, but so he came inside and got it. And then like a week or two later, I am, just walking to the kitchen and I see something on the corner of my eye, and I look down and there's a frog just jumping around in the kitchen. And I'm like, what in the world? How did a tree frog get in our house? I don't know. Like all of these crazy bugs. I guess since it's summertime, they're out a lot more. But let me know if you've had, or what was the craziest like insect or bug or anything that you've had in your house before.
Let me feel your love again, 'cause I've been running round in circles screaming out your name. Take me to a different place, just the two of us, and we can stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night, everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you.
So I typically do all of our laundry on our bed, and then I will fold all the girls' clothes and put them into like little baskets already folded, KonMari style. I used to be against KonMari style. I don't know why. Maybe just thinking that, it was too much upkeep. But now I only fold KonMari style. I keep it in those little baskets, and then that's what I use to like take everything upstairs. So everything is done down here, organized, and then I will keep it or take it all upstairs. And then that's when I realized just how bad the upstairs actually was. So what ends up happening up here sometimes is that the girls, they don't have a ton of toys in their room. They keep everything in the playroom, and then I like to have their rooms pretty simple so that it doesn't get all messed up and disastrous like it does. But whenever I show spaces like this, I always get questions about why don't your kids clean up after themselves, or why can't they help with cleaning up so it doesn't get that bad. And so, sometimes it's like you're just trying to help me out so that it doesn't get to that point. So what ends up happening when it does get like this disastrous is that I don't like go and check it all the time. And also my kids go to like preschool and stuff, so they're not home all day long. I actually work from home. So they're at preschool, and on the weekends is when a lot of times we entertain. So we have people over, we have other kids over, we have the neighbors that come over during the week. And a lot of times when it is just them, then I'll work with them to help clean it up. But also they don't, at like 2 and 4, they're not going to organize it to the extent that I have organized it. So a lot of times it's just easier for me to kind of go in and just clean it up. When it's this overwhelming, like it would take me so many hours for me to sit there and be like, no, put this over here, go put these away, because they just get distracted easy. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not doing something right, but it just is that way. So it's like, it's so much easier for me to come up here and do it all at once instead of like trying to get them to do stuff. Now, I have so many videos of them helping me, so I don't want you to get worried that like my kids don't help and they're going to grow up and be hoarders. Like, I'm not concerned about that whatsoever. But when it's a mess that like several children have made all together, then I'm just like, let me just come up here and do it. But anyway, regardless of that, my plans for July are actually going to be, I ordered a bunk bed. So we are going to make this room into both of the girls' rooms. So both Sailor and Savannah are going to share this room, but I have this bunk bed on order. It's been on back order for 3 months. And I can't put my youngest in this room until we can get her another bed or get the bunk beds in. So once I do that, then what I'm going to do is turn Savannah's room into the baby room. So it's been a struggle to start the baby room when Savannah is still in that room. So until I can get her swapped over, I feel like I can't do anything as far as like baby updates. So it's supposed to come in at the end of this month, the bunk bed, so I can start working on getting everyone swapped, all the rooms swapped over, and then the baby room created and things like that. So hopefully I can get that done sooner rather than later.
You got something I can never be without, yeah. I'm in your command. Thought I was a man of my own will.
And this is Savannah's room. That is going to be the future baby boy room.
Good on me now, a breeze in my ear. Cause you know I cannot say no to you. Feeling like home, but should it be like this? Locked up in your dome, you know I fight for you. What do I, every time you come in.
These little organizers are actually, they were advertised on Amazon as like sock organizers, and I put the girls' pajamas in them. So they were too small. It came with like 24 pockets, and what I did was I cut them. In one of my videos, my closet organization video, I cut them, and then that's how I was able to make bigger sections and then fit the pajama set into those. It works out perfectly because after bath time, they will just walk over and pick out the pair of pajamas that they want to wear that night.
Find myself apologizing when you started it. Why? Under a spell. I really wonder how did it come to this? Go see my friends, but then I realized they're all your friends. Is this who I am? You see me running around in circles, feeling so sweet, but should it be like this? I'm loving the heat, I think I'm losing it. What do I, every time you come in there, what do I, you're whipping me into madness. I try to lay low, but I can never stay away from you. What do I, we can't stop it, so I keep on rolling in silence. So I keep on rolling in silence. Is this really healthy? Maybe I need therapy.
So the last and final task is going to be to tackle the playroom. So a lot of stuff just gets piled onto the stairs. I have a little basket down there, and if there's any types of toys that are left downstairs or brought downstairs, instead of me having to like go up and down the stairs every single time there's a toy, I can just kind of put it in that basket and then take the whole basket up when, we're ready to pick up or put those things away. So again, this is still the same mess that was there the other day. I just hadn't gotten around to doing it. I did pick up the girls' bedrooms, but now I am going to kind of go through really fast and tackle this area.
So I keep on rolling in silence. Keep on rolling in silence. What do I?
So I asked y'all on my Instagram one time, I got selected to speak at like this virtual conference about working through lack of motivation. So I needed some ideas from y'all to see what are some of the things that cause you to have a lack of motivation when it comes to cleaning. So based on the responses that I got over on my Instagram, I kind of categorized them into topics. And one of the topics that y'all had said was that there is just no time. And, being busy, being a mom, trying to do everything, having no time is definitely a cause for not really being motivated because you don't have the time to do it. So way back when, I actually used to be like a really clean freak when I could keep up with the cleaning. And, the type of clean where you walk into a room like this and get really anxious and then you feel like you can't do anything else in your day. Nothing is more important than cleaning up this mess because it's just going to be in the back of your mind and you're going to be thinking about it. And, once I had kids and like the messes got worse and worse, then it just started consuming me. So one of the questions I had to ask myself is, what is time worth it to you? That's the only thing that you can never get back. You can't buy time. You can't, make it go faster. You can't slow it down. It's just the one constant in our life. So what do you specifically choose to do about that? The next question is, what is your expectation about what you can accomplish in that time frame? And the third question you would ask yourself is, what is the story you're telling yourself about time? So for me, time is worth everything. And that means that sometimes having this mess is not as important as doing something else that is a priority for me. So what I had to do to kind of calm myself down about like, oh my gosh, this is a mess. I can't think, I can't do anything unless this mess is cleaned, is to try and think about, what is my expectation around this? If I expect it to be 100% clean 100% of the time, then I probably will be missing out on so many other things that potentially could be more important. Watching a movie with my kids, to me, in a certain time frame is more important than possibly picking up this mess. So another thing is like to change your story about what you're telling yourself about time. So if you're in this constant of, I don't have enough time, I'm never going to get around to it, I just can't make time, there's not enough time in the day. If that's all you're telling yourself, then that's also all you're believing. So again, how bad do you want it done? How important is it to you to get done? And then schedule a time frame to where it is more realistic for you to do. So for me, let's just use this for an example. The upstairs, I do not clean every day. I do not come up here every day. I do not, make sure my kids are clean, have it cleaned up every second of the day. I just reset my expectations. Sometimes I expect to come up here and it's messy and I just, laugh about it. I grab a camera. Like, it's just my expectations have now shifted to where it does not cause me to be overwhelmed with anxiety. It's just the season of my life that I'm in. I'm not going to have these toys forever. But I can enjoy, picking up the mess here and there, knowing that these toys are not going to be here forever. And then the story I tell myself about time is, okay, well, I definitely may not have a lot of time today because there's something else that we want to do that day. But I know that I have some free time on Saturday mornings before we get up and do whatever. So I'm going to schedule a time to kind of like pick that stuff up on that day. But I have to just know that the days before that, it may still be a mess. And as long as I accept that expectation, then I'm okay. So, kind of a different perspective. I'm not going to tell you need to do this routine or that routine or do a million things every single night in order for you to have enough time. It's just really what works best for you. But for me, it was just changing mindset and kind of coming to the realization of what's possible, what's not, and then working in slots, not telling myself I don't have enough time, but trying to more so tell the story of when can I make some time for this and when can I prioritize this in my day.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't won't stop for traffic lights. And
I also had a subscriber shout out I wanted to share. Rebecca shared with me in a comment that she said one of your recent videos encouraged us to take a leap of faith and go against the grain a little bit. So she took that for heart, applied for a new job, working weekends at premium pay, you know, over a Monday through Friday job. And she ended up getting the job, and it was in the process of starting. So congratulations, Rebecca. And sometimes just going with your gut or your instinct and knowing your right path is going to be the best decision of all. But thank you guys so much for sticking around with me. I hope that you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I will see you all in my next video.
shine on me, shine on me, shine on me, shine on me. I've been going out of my head, I've been waiting for someone to give me help. All I'm asking for is just some space and some time, then I'll be alright. I've been having thoughts in my mind I can't get out. Tell me things I can't say myself, from you and nobody else. Everything is out of my sight. This is all so new to me. I can do it all in your way. Say all the things that you say. I can do it all in one night. When I go out, the light doesn't shine on me. I fade out. It's all so new to me.
Do you ever have one of those days where you just need to get through the day? Well, that's me today. I just need to get a few things done before it gets way out of control, but I am so exhausted. I'm like 33 weeks pregnant. I feel like I should be nesting and have all this energy, but I feel the exact opposite. Now, you don't have to be pregnant to experience low energy, but what I've noticed is that if I am feeling so much low energy, mainly because I've just been sitting around all day, then the best thing for me to do is to get up and move my body. So here we are today, pushing through and seeing how much we can get done. Now, Tony Robbins says that emotion is created through motion. So for me, if I had decided to just sit around all day long, then I can guarantee you that I would not be in a good mood by the end of the day. In fact, I would feel guilty for not getting a lot done. I would just feel even less energy the next day. But I can tell you that making the decision to get off the couch and actually get something done today really heightened my mood, made me feel so accomplished, and also in a better mood the next day. Now, there's always a time and place for rest, but for me, today was not that day. So for you, I want you to make the decision on how you're going to utilize today and how that is going to impact your mood. So I'm going to go ahead and get started in the living room. Typically, the main disastrous areas are what I like to work on. Although today, it's actually not super disastrous. I'm trying to keep up with the mess more and more so that it doesn't become so overwhelming. Back before pregnancy, I had so much more energy than I do now, so I definitely have to keep it more manageable. So in the living room today, the kitchen, our master bedroom, and then I have some laundry to do. And then the next morning, I'm finally going to start going through some of the girl clothes and working a little bit in the nursery, or the room that will become the nursery. So let's go ahead and get started. If you are new here and this is the first video you have ever watched of mine, then I do want to say thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it when we have a really, really awesome community. I say that like every single time, but I truly mean it. So a little background on me. My name is Michelle and my husband's name is Chris. He pops in and out of videos, especially when I have like makeover type videos, home makeover or home projects. He helps out a ton in those types of videos. We will be married for 9 years this September, and we have 2 beautiful daughters. Sailor will be 5 in October, and then Savannah will be 3 in just a couple of weeks. So I'm actually planning out her birthday party. It'll be like mermaid or Disney Ariel themed, and I'll show you guys all of the party prep in an upcoming video. Not only that, I am 33 weeks pregnant, like I mentioned before, probably 34 weeks by the time this video is posted, and it will be our first boy. I work full-time from home in the oil and gas industry and also juggle all of the homemaking tasks, which is mainly what I share on this channel. Over the last almost 2 years and being home more than I had ever been home in my life is when I really started to take on a lot of homemaking roles. I started to try and organize a little bit better, create systems in my home that work. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes I just live in the chaos, and sometimes I'm really, really proud of the accomplishment that's come. So I wouldn't say that I'm an extreme cleaner, an extreme organizer, or perfectionist. I just test different things, go with the flow, and then find what works best. Now with cleaning videos, I know the goal is always to motivate, but with my channel, I really like to inspire. Inspiration is what sparks new beginnings, new ideas, new motivations, so that is what I like to lean towards. So if you feel like that's something you want to get out of a video, then I would love for you to subscribe.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding.
So I just recently did a bigger office declutter video, and it's funny because I had taken everything out and put it in the hallway, or went through it, decluttered, organized it and everything, and then I finished everything, and someone had asked, what did you do with all this stuff in the hallway? And if you look in the corner, it's all still there. Well, at least when I recorded this video, it's all still there, but what I ended up doing, that's all donate stuff. So anything that I recycled or threw away is already out, and then that is the last pile of donation. So I actually boxed all that up later that week, and unfortunately it's still sitting in the garage. It needs to go to donation center. I'm trying to convince Chris, my husband, to go ahead and take it there. What I'm using here is still the Method Granite Cleaner. That's what I've been using on like all of my most recent videos. Before that I was using Jaws, and then before that I was using 7th generation. I like all of them. I have really no complaints. The only thing that I look for now is try to be a lot more non-toxic cleaners. So 80% is my goal to do non-toxic cleaners, and then if there is just some really, really bad spots that you just need the good stuff, then that's when I'll like pull out the Lysol wipes or whatever it might be. We had built this house 7 years ago, so this month in July will actually be 7 years that we've lived here, and the island is, I want to say, like 10 or 11 feet long. It was one of the biggest features that sold us on this house, but I didn't realize how much countertop that you have to clean when you decide to go with that much counter space. So the biggest thing I look for in order to keep like the counters sealed and so it doesn't damage the stone is look for some type of stone or granite cleaner and then stick to that. Next, I'm moving on to the bedroom, but when you guys start cleaning, do you have a specific area that you start in? I feel like I don't mean to pick the kitchen or the living room, but since that's like the main area, and if somebody just randomly comes over to our house, not that that happens that often, it's like, oh, I want that area to be clean first because that's what people see. I see a lot of people start in their bedroom first because that's probably the first thing that you guys do in the morning is make your beds. I don't. I wish I was better at doing that. I'm just not. But I'm always like, oh, I can just shut the door if somebody comes over and no one has to even look in there or know that the bed's not made. And in the living room, people can visibly see that. So let me know in the comments below. But that being said, I do like it when the bed is made. It looks so much prettier and all the stuff is not on the floor. And also, since I do my laundry on the bed, it makes it easier to like spread everything out. So I probably make my bed, I want to say once a week. I know that's not great, but for now, that's what it is.
Right now I'm standing in a corner. I see you from across the room. It's kinda crowded here, but I know you see me too. Everybody's singing, oh, everybody's singing, oh. I don't know what it is about you. It must be in the way you move. Just say you want me to. We got nothing to lose. You're looking so old. You're looking so old.
I'm going to finish vacuuming up here in the bedroom. I'm using the Dyson. I think it's a V7, so it's a lot older model, and we've already had to get a new battery for it. I also have the Tingo, which has a light and is also nice and powerful, but for some reason I just grabbed this one. I'll also vacuum up in the living room area, and then I will start doing some laundry. But I do have a story that I owe y'all. If y'all have been watching the last couple of videos, we've been talking about like crazy things that you found in your home, and I'm talking like animal wise. I mentioned that because it's summertime, like we just get a lot of bugs in our room, in our home, and I just can't stand well, most bugs don't bother me, but I just don't like cockroaches. And I asked you guys to tell me different stories about different crazy things that you found in your home. I shared all of y'all, some of those top comments of y'all's stories last week's video. And I said that, somebody said that they had found, actually a couple people said that they have found like bats in their house, not bats, but like a bat. And I said that I would share with y'all my crazy rabies story. So it was on our honeymoon about 9 years ago. We took a cruise. We're big cruise people. And we took a cruise out of Puerto Rico, and it went to 5 or 6 beautiful islands like St. Croix, St. Lucia, St. Martin. And then one of the stops was Barbados. And this was on the very last day. We did excursions at each island and had an awesome time. And the excursion that we picked in Barbados was an animal encounter as well as snorkeling. And there was one more thing I can't remember. So we ended up taking that excursion, and we were with like another group of people, and we went to this park area. I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, there was like, you walk through it and there's just like monkeys and all different types of animals all over, and you're just walking with them within that like park area. And they were kind of caged in. I don't know how wild they were. I can't remember all of it. But anyway, they were giving us food so that we could feed the monkeys. And I remember, being one of the ones not scared to feed the monkeys. A lot of people in the other group were. So I fed the monkeys and whatever, it was fine. And then as we were kind of walking to the next area of the park where we would see more animals, one of the monkeys jumped out at me. And to this day, I don't know if it bit me or scratched me. I was looking the other direction, and it kind of jumped out of a tree onto the sidewalk I was walking and grabbed a hold of my arm. And there was a very, very small cut. It didn't hurt. I wasn't like endangered or anything. But the people started getting really concerned that it drew blood. It was like, it's okay. I'm completely fine. Like, it was a very, very tiny minor scratch. I did not need medical attention or anything like that. But some of the people there, the natives seemed concerned. And even some of the people in the group, they were just like, you need to go get that checked out. And I was just like, I'm fine. There's nothing, I barely even need a Band-Aid. It's not even bleeding that much. So anyway, we went throughout the whole, that was the last day of our cruise, and we finished out everything. And then I started getting really nervous. Like, people, I think, were starting to make me feel very uncomfortable. Like, well, you don't know what diseases that monkey has and all of this stuff. And it sounded crazy. So anyway, we got back home, and then I had to start work like the next Monday. And I thought to myself, I feel my arm tingle. And I told my boss at the time, like, I'm feeling nervous. This happened. And she's like, you need to call your doctor. So I called my general, doctor. And they're like, okay, what do you need to come in for? And, I'm back in the US. And I'm like, well, I've been bit by a monkey. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. I told them the story. And they're like, okay, we've never had that happen before, but you can come in and see what they say. So I ended up going in, and the doctor is just like, you've been what? Like, I think I was bit by a monkey. I was either bit or scratched. So they gave me a tetanus shot, and they were like, well, we can't do anything here. So they referred me to an infectious disease specialist. So here I am now going to an infectious disease specialist, and they take it very seriously. They kind of understand me better, like, oh yeah, we've had all different types of cases, and they actually recommended me to get this series of rabies. I don't know if it's an anti-rabies vaccine or if it was the rabies vaccine, and they were like, unless we can actually catch the monkey, then we don't know like what it was. So it's just, best to go ahead and do this. And I'm reading all the paper, 20 or more pages. I'm getting really nervous about like possible side effects. And I asked the nurse there, would you get this shot if you were in my situation where you weren't 100% sure? She's like, get the shot or die of rabies. I would get the shot. And he actually said he did have someone else get like bit by a monkey. The only thing is I couldn't tell if it grabbed and scratched me or if it actually bit me, because it was like the right side of my arm and I was looking over to the left. So I didn't know. And it was such a small thing of blood that I couldn't really tell. So anyways, I had to get a series of rabies shots. Each shot was over $2,000. Luckily, insurance covered it, so I didn't have to pay that much. But it was very regimented. Like the first day I had to go in and get 3 shots. Then on days like 3, I had to go in and get another series of shots. Then day 7, I had to get another series of shots. Like it was very intense. They were really big shots. And then they were also nervous about other things. So I had to get on different types of medication. And I was like, this is the craziest thing that has ever happened to me. And luckily, I'm 9 years past that incident. So thankfully, I didn't get rabies. And they said that vaccine had only not worked one time. And it was from someone who had been bit by a bat. So that was a pretty interesting and crazy story. So lesson learned, I don't get near animals anymore because I don't want to go through that again. But now back to the video and organizing a bit. So I am now moved into Savannah's room. This is the room that is going to become the nursery that I haven't started yet because I'm waiting on the bunk beds in order to move Savannah out of this room into Sailor's room. So they're going to share a room in the other room. This is going to become the nursery. So the first steps that I need to do is clear out all of the clothes. That way I can start bringing in baby boy's clothes. He doesn't have a name yet. That's why I keep saying baby boy, because we're indecisive on a name. But over the last 4 years, well, Sailor's almost 5. So I have so much girl clothes. And it's going to take me longer than just this amount of time to go through all of it. But what I'm doing here is going through anything that is not going to fit her right now, putting that away in a box. And then I have several boxes that I like all the way from 0 to 2T clothes that I need to now get rid of because we are not having any more children. This will be our last one, and we don't need girl clothes. Now, my neighbor across the street is having a girl, and she is due like 3 weeks before me. So everything that is 0 to 6 months, I am putting in boxes and just going ahead and giving to her. So here we go, 8 months pregnant and finally starting all things baby.
I see a sky with a reindeer car, but I'm running. I see a train moving all too fast, but I'm not leaving. And you go round and round and you cannot see.
So when I go through and declutter anything, the number one positive comment I get is that it has helped you. You're in a similar boat. It helped you kind of go through and declutter some of the things that you don't need. The number one negative comment I get is that you just don't like that I have too much stuff, or that I have a shopping addiction. I'm broke because of the stuff that I buy. The best way to declutter is to not buy anything at all, that there's nothing to declutter, but what a boring video that would be. So all the assumptions that are not typically true, but one thing that is true is that I do have a lot of baby clothes. So for my own scenario in my own life, and having two girls that were under 2 so close together, I am such a girl mom and I like buying baby girl clothes, as does my friends and family who have gifted me with a lot of the stuff. So I have not gone through it in 5 years. Everything is boxed up. I kept it in case we had another girl. I was certain we were having another girl. So there's definitely a lot of boxes of clothes over the last 5 years, and that's what I am going through now. Now, I do buy them outfits for a lot of occasions. I like having different outfits for different things, and it's just fun for me. So I don't know. It doesn't make me broke or anything. Have I calmed down with buying baby clothes? Absolutely. But for the time being, first time mom, buying matching outfits, I have double, because even though I can pass down a lot of stuff to Savannah, there are times where I wanted matching outfits. So I obviously bought her, new clothes too. So all of this stuff is an old box that is probably newborn or 0 to 3 month. And because I need the totes, I'm putting this into like an old Amazon box. And then that is what's going over to my neighbor. Now, it wasn't that easy for me to go through. For some reason, I do hold emotion to certain things, not so much my things, but to my kids' things. I noticed that I do have some type of emotional connection to that, but I just had to remember, I need room for the new baby stuff. And since I know that's my last one, as like he gets older, so like when he's out of the newborn clothes, then I can go ahead and get rid of that instead of storing 5 boxes of clothes in case I had another one. But at the end of the day, I had to take my emotional cap off, put on my declutter and get rid of cap, and just knowing that I'm giving it to someone I know makes me feel better. Now, once she goes through all that stuff, then I am going to be donating the rest. So for me, holding on to the emotion was a really hard part. But what I had to remember is that I still have the memory. I still have, the picture. So if I ever need to come back to that, I don't need the physical aspect of it. They're never going to wear it again. I'm never going to use this, stuff again. So if I need to hold on to something, I can always go back to my pictures and my videos or my memory of them in the outfit, and not have to feel like I need that physical outfit.
A couple hours from Japan, would you stay awake? I'm losing touch of who I am when you're far away. And I feel like I'm running in circles around you. And I know I've been acting strange for a while, but I want you close, ooh, closer than before, and no one knows, ooh, that I want you close. I'm not overthinking feelings, I just need you to know that I want you close, ooh, closer than before.
A couple weeks ago in a video, I was talking about burnout, like feeling burnt out, doing the same tasks all the time. And I had mentioned a suggestion by Angie Lee. I read in one of her podcasts where you ask yourself, what would make this fun again? But then I was listening to another podcast by Jenna Kutcher, and she had a different suggestion, and I thought I'd just share it. And her suggestion was to ask yourself the question. It was something like, what would your 10-year-old self be disappointed in you if you were to quit? My first initial thought would be, my 10-year-old self would be like, why did you quit gymnastics? But, you got to think a little deeper than that. But I think that it would be that I wanted to do so much. I grew up with divorced parents, not a lot of money. In high school, we moved to 3 different apartment complexes, and I always just remember thinking, like, you can do it, set big goals and accomplish them, follow through with them. So I would have to say I would be disappointed in quitting a goal because it felt uncomfortable at the time. So leaning into uncomfortable things is what's really going to change you. So if you were to look back at yourself at 10 years old and leave me a comment down below, what would you say to yourself and what would you change now if it's something that you're not happy with?
But I want you close, closer than before. But I want you close. I just need you to know that I want you close.
So this is really just the start of the organizing and decluttering of clothes process. Moving from 2 dressers and 2 closets and combining it into one will be a little bit of a challenge, but it'll be manageable now that we can get rid of a lot of the clothes that just don't fit anymore. I continue to use the KonMari folding method because it is so much easier to see what we have. Also, utilizing the drawer organizers is just such a game changer, especially with like small clothes like their size. So once I've gotten 2 boxes out, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. But I hope you enjoyed the long chats, and obviously there's lots more to come. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see all of you guys next week.
I'm going out with you tonight. Are you close to here? I'm feeling down, I don't know why. No, it's so surreal. Think I want you here. Oh, 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 oh. I don't ask for much, no, I don't need that much, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Though I want your touch, baby, you're so high, stay. I don't mind a little crazy, but baby, you're so high, stay. We don't need to go that fast. I need this night.
So after the party is the after party, also known as the cleanup crew, which is me, of course. So I got up early Sunday morning, and I can't start this mass cleanup without a cup of coffee. If y'all watched last week's video, then you know that I spent about 5 days cleaning and prepping for this party, and then after the party comes the disaster. So in today's video, I'm going to work hard to get all of these horrible spaces cleaned up. If you're new here, then welcome. And if you hadn't seen last week's video, last week is where we did all of the party prep, and this week is where we clean everything up. From my daughter's 3rd birthday party. I also have a 4-year-old, and I'm currently 9 months pregnant with my 3rd child. So if you are struggling to get up this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever time of day it is, don't worry, I am too. So let's just do this together. Also, before I get started, I always take my vitamins in the morning. So I wanted to thank Care of for sponsoring today's video. Care of is a subscription service that ships high quality personalized vitamins to your door every month. What really makes Care of so unique is that instead of just guessing what vitamins you might want to take, you can take an in-depth personalized quiz about your health and your goals, and then get personalized recommendations based on your answers. I've been using Care of for a couple months now and have stuck with the recommendations that they've provided to me based on my goals. So for me personally, some of my goals were fitness, energy, digestion, skin, nails, heart health, and brain health. So that being said, within my personalized packet, I received a collagen powder, which really helps with skin health. I also received this pocket protector that helps with immune support. And in my pack dispenser, I received my packs for my daily vitamins. This included fish oil that helps with heart health, the probiotic blend, which helps to naturally regulate your digestive system, and also my prenatal vitamin because I did specify that I'm currently pregnant. And taking vitamins is an important part of my daily routine. Each recommended vitamin has been helping me throughout the summer. What I like most about Care of is their personalized packs are made from a plant-based compositable film. Not only so you can feel good about your health, but also on the planet. I also like that the packs are personalized. Like, I would never think to take a probiotic, even though gut health was something that was important to me. You can also evolve with Care of and retake the quiz. So for example, when I'm no longer pregnant or nursing, then I might retake the quiz and switch up my vitamins based on my new goals. So I definitely trust the Care of brand because it is made from good for you, clean ingredients that are backed by the latest science and research, so you can feel good about what you're putting into your body. Also, be sure to take the Care of quiz to find out what's recommended for you. Use my code MichelleOM for 50% off your next order. So I'm starting off in the kitchen this morning because that just seems like the most obvious place to start. Get all the stuff put away. I know you might be curious about why wouldn't I just pick up the day before or the day of the party. So the party was on Saturday and now it is a Sunday morning. The thing is that, well, at least for me, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes whenever we have kid birthday parties, they are also turned into adult birthday parties. And a lot of times we have friends and family stay over kind of, not too late, but into the night. And the last thing that I want to do is start picking up late at night. Planning the party and prepping for a party is already exhausting enough. So the day of the party, I just want to kind of sit back and relax and enjoy the company that we have. In the past, I used to be like really over the top about cleaning everything up right then, like even when people are still there. But I realized that, I can, if I have time the next morning, that it can all wait and I can just enjoy the day, enjoy the company, and stop stressing about cleaning up right then in that moment. But then there's always pros and cons to that, right? Because then you're left with a giant mess the next day. Chris, my husband, is cleaning up everything outside while I focus on the inside. And then once we get to the toys in the upstairs, then I'm going to have the girls hop in and help me with that as well. But leave me a comment. Let me know down below. What do y'all prefer? Do y'all prefer cleaning up right after the party's over? Or do you enjoy the party and then kind of wait till the next day to clean up? I know that also depends on the time of the party, but let me know down below.
Watch me under the light, so keep me in your sight, 'cause I can do this all night. You can call it what you want, I got something else in mind. Oh, if it's you I've been waiting for, I better make you worth my time. So don't you pay them any mind, close your eyes, follow the sound.
video is posted, I will be 37 weeks pregnant, and people have been asking, when is the nursery coming along? When is the nesting coming along? When is everything coming along? And I waited a long time. I don't know if it's third child syndrome. If you guys have multiple children or like more than one, well, I would even say Savannah, my second, I was really on top of my game, like getting all of her stuff ready. But this time around, I've been slacking. I've been waiting on bunk beds to come in before I started getting anything organized and prepped for the baby. And now here I am, 37 weeks pregnant, and I am scrambling. So I do promise the next couple of videos are all going to be nesting and prepping. And I don't know, I don't like that word nesting. It makes me sound like a bird. I don't know, I hate saying that word, but that's what it's called. But by definition, it's also when you get this burst of energy to get everything done. And I can't say that I've had like this intense amount of energy. It's more like panic mode, and forcing myself to get motivated and get everything ordered, straightened up. I needed to make decisions about the nursery, and I just finally did everything. So I will say that I am almost done. In the next couple of videos, I will be sharing everything that I've been working on. So thanks for bearing with me. This was like the last big event that I could do and kind of handle before just getting everything ready. And if you do follow me over on Instagram, I posted a couple days ago like a picture of my swollen feet. Just on my stories. It's probably gone now, but yep, this 107-degree weather isn't helping much either. Which also reminds me, I wanted to ask you guys, is it scorching hot where you live? I live in Houston, Texas area. I mean, our summers typically get hot. We get in the hundreds, so it's not completely unheard of to have this type of weather. I think it's more so that it's really extreme. The heat index is like 105, 110, and it's just consistently, it's like, does not go down. It does not go under 100 degrees, which isn't that normal for us. But I see that it's super hot across the whole country. So let me know, leave me a comment down below. What is the hottest that it's been? Is it scorching hot for you guys? And how are you managing?
I can't get up. Tell me things I can't say myself. From you and nobody else. Everything is side of my side. This is all so new to me. I can do it all in your way. Say all the things that you say. I can do it all in one night. When I go out, the light doesn't shine on me. I fade out. It's all so new to me. I need you. Someone to show me the way. The light doesn't shine on me. Shine on me, 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 shine on me.
So as I'm just cleaning and wiping everything up in the kitchen before I move on to the living room, I debated talking about this almost throughout my whole pregnancy. So I'm just going to share a little bit about how I've been feeling. So this pregnancy has been a lot harder, and especially, I guess, seeing myself on camera, like it doesn't matter, but like some of these angles are horrid for me to watch. And it gets to me, but I also laugh about it. And I have not received one negative comment about body image or anything like that, which I'm so thankful for, because most of you guys are just the nicest, sweetest, so uplifting people in the world. But it's ourselves that do the self-sabotaging. And that's what I've been struggling with, I think, the most. I was just scrolling through Instagram and I read this quote from Jay Shetty that he posted, and it says, "The parts of yourself you don't like are the ones you need to love the most." I'm going to say that one more time, because us women are ones that are more shameful about our physical appearance than anything else. A study shows that. So it says, the parts of yourself you don't like are the ones that you need to love the most. Just remember that everyone is fighting their own internal battles, whether they say it out loud or not. Whether you think that that person looks great, there's probably a struggle within their own mindset that they're struggling with as well. What would be really cool that I thought about doing is if we could all just send like a text message or a note or something to somebody that we really care about and just send them a nice message. Sometimes just getting a really nice text or a Instagram message or something can really lift up someone's day who you may not even know is struggling or something that they really needed to hear.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds, because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day. And I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. I can see the sun staring at you when you make that smile. I'm moving closer to you now.
So I've gotten some of the main areas picked up, including the living room, and now it is time to tackle the upstairs and see what damage has been done. I told the girls, since we had like a whole outdoor setup, I said, try not to let anyone go upstairs because I'm still in the middle of prepping the nursery. I have, baby stuff out and everything. And then I also had it cleaned up. So I was like, there's no reason for anyone to go upstairs in the playroom because what happens is, and when there's like 20 plus kids or whatever, this is what happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to work together to try and get a lot of these toys picked up. And I'm not going to lie, and maybe y'all have these moments too. I was picking everything up and I was just thinking to myself, can I just throw all of this stuff away? Just make it easy and not have anything to play with. But then I'm like, oh, then the kids are just going to bother me 24/7. So I need to have some things, right? And for everyone who tells me my kids should be cleaning and helping me, well, you see exactly where they're at, right? This is how difficult it can get when they try and help. But I'm not going to lie. Sailor is almost 5. She is actually really good at helping me pick up. Most of the time, she wants to help. And then Savannah, who just turned 3, she is a whole different story. She is like, no, we're not picking up. We're going to, look at all these toys. I'm going to play with them. She gets distracted. She'll go sit on the couch and watch us clean. And, I'm just like, we'll get there one day. There's certainly things that I was way more strict about, like sleep training. I was like psycho with routines and getting everything because sleep is so important to me. Gentle parenting, I am trying so hard to get more patience with and things like that. And then the back burner is them picking up their toys. That's kind of it's not my number one priority. There's other things about raising kids that I was so much more strict on than, this. And I know that I share cleaning, so it's a lot of feedback on how they should be cleaning or how much they should be helping me and things like that. But I promise you that there are other things that I am so strict with. And then some things that I'm just like, okay, just, let me breathe. Let me just do this real quick and get it done with. And basically just parenting is just surviving and doing what you can. So is there anything that y'all are more strict about and then more laid back with? Then leave me a comment below.
I'm saying let's go. You're saying maybe. Let's find a disco. You're stuck at home being so lazy. Hey. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come dance with me. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come dance with me. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. I can see your body.
I will say this about cleaning. I'm definitely not the type of person that is like super excited to get up and clean every day and see all of the dirty spaces that I can clean. It's more so like, okay, I got to get it done, so let's just go for it type mentality. But the good thing is that you do get up and move your body. And the good thing about moving your body, getting exercise, is releasing those endorphins that help put you in a better mood. So even though the aspect and the mentality of getting up and cleaning is a struggle for a lot of people, including myself, afterwards you're basically should feel more energized. You should feel exhausted, but then you should also feel more energized physically and mentally, and you have a clean space to work with.
Give me some energy. Wanna come dance with me. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go.
So recently, Sailor's been watching me pick up and fold clothes and fold a lot. So she was really excited to fold all of these blankets and show me that she knows exactly how to do it. And another thing that is so cute is that they are so excited for the baby to come. So Sailor and Savannah, they're only 20 months apart. So whenever I had Savannah, Sailor couldn't really talk and I don't know if she fully understood what was coming. And then this time around, they both know that a new baby's coming. They want to hold it. They want to help. They want to feed it. And I know, like, as a parent having multiple kids, it's kind of your worst fear to think that, will this child not feel loved enough, or nervous that this child will be jealous. And I had a lot of those fears, but just talking about it and how much they're going to help me and how much they're going to be able to contribute has been so rewarding, because they are probably more excited than I am. And it's so, so cute to see.
You were my best friend. Didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do
This little hallway area is between the two bedrooms upstairs. One of the bedrooms they're going to start sharing. One of the bedrooms is going to be a nursery. And this hallway kind of becomes a junk pile. All of this stuff I had to go through a little bit. And while I was kind of up here picking up, I decided that, I had so many picture frames in our last house, but I'm kind of minimalizing that. So I'm going through these, taking out all of the pictures, and then I'll plan to donate a lot of the frames.
driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep.
So I promise I am being very, very careful. The island is very long and thick, and I'm not near the edge or anything like that. So I'm just going to pull down these little jellyfish that were on the ceiling of the island kitchen area. And then I'm going to start taking down a lot of the rest of the decorations.
'Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, 'cause I'm thinking we'll be. Where did it begin? Where did it end? Hanging on loose strings, unable to bend. I never listened, trying to prove it, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with
girls really wanted to help out taking all of the balloons down, and Savannah did end up getting a little bit scared. Typically I would just cut the ends off and then just let the air come out, but this way just makes a total mess. But Sailor was having a great time and she thought it was so funny. So we just went the fun and messy way.
Yeah, he sets my body in motion. He knows how to turn things up. And he knows what gets me going. Yeah, like a little text saying, hey, what's up? They look at me, I'm in a bad situation. Look at him, he's got a bad reputation. They be looking at us, thinking we are too much. Look at me, I'm in a bad situation. Look at him, he's got a bad reputation. They be looking at us. Why do I need to be good all the time? I'm wrapped around his finger, but he is mine. Don't care what they say, too late anyway. Why do I need to be good all the time? Yeah, it gets when I'm in a bad mood.
So these confetti balloons made an absolute mess, and it's actually hard for me to sweep them up. I feel like they were sticking to the wood. Even after vacuuming, they weren't coming up well. And then even, a week or so later, I'm still finding the little confetti round things in random spots around the house. But that's just what you get. I feel that way around Christmas time with the glitter, because I have so much glitter around Christmas time that I just find it everywhere for months. But while I'm picking all of this up, I wanted to ask y'all, is there anything that y'all want to see in my content? Is there anything that you have questions on? Like, do you like Q&As? Do you like content mixed up a little bit? Is there any questions that you want me to answer or go in depth in? Any type of story that you might be interested in? You can always let me know in the comments or send me a message on my Instagram. I would love to make these videos extra great for all of you guys and more interesting. I'd love to share anything that you would be interested in. I'm pretty much an open book on most things, so just let me know, and I would love to incorporate some of your questions, stories, anything into some of my upcoming videos.
But what about it? Why do I need to be good all the time? I'm wrapped around his finger, but he is mine. Don't care what they say, too late anyway. Why do I need to be good all the time? No drama, no drama, yeah. No drama, no drama, yeah, yeah. No drama, no drama, yeah. No drama.
If you haven't noticed, I'm back downstairs picking up the living room again and just vacuuming up. I'm using the Dyson. I think it's the V7 Dyson. It's fairly old, to vacuum everything up. And at this point, I am super exhausted. My mom called later and I was like, I just got done cleaning. She's like, okay, did you mop all the floors? And I was like, you know what? I could barely walk after this. So no, I didn't. She's like, oops, I spilled a drink over by the refrigerator, so it might be sticky. So you might want to mop. So I'm so sorry I didn't get to mopping in this video. I had to cut it off at some point during the day. But anyway, I really hoped that you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some good motivation. Even if you're struggling to get something done, just know that you can always do the best you can. If you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe. And then in the next couple of weeks, I'll be sharing cleaning, organizing, and baby prep. See you guys next week. I've had about 4 hours of sleep. I'm on my second cup of coffee, but I'm ready to get started. How about y'all? Welcome to my first video recorded postpartum. So in today's video, you can clean along with me as I get just about the whole house picked up. You'll get to meet baby Rye as I have to stop a couple of times throughout the video and attend to him, of course. And it will be a little bit of a chatty video. Well, all of my videos are kind of chatty as I give you guys the updates on his spontaneous labor and then also questions that I've received, like where did I come up with his name? How do I get anything done? How am I managing postpartum? So I'll definitely be updating y'all on some of that. If this is your first time here, then you can probably tell from the title that I am postpartum. When I am filming this, I'm 2 weeks postpartum, and there is baby Rye, 2 weeks old, but by the time this video gets published, it'll be about a month later. My name is Michelle, and I'd love for you to subscribe to all of the mom life motivation, because we all know dark circles around your eyes and coffee is the norm around here. But as I'm getting started, I wanted to thank Blinkus for sponsoring today's video. If y'all have been here for a while, then you know how much I love listening to inspirational things such as books and podcasts, which makes Blinkus perfect because Blinkus is an app that enables you to understand the most important things from over 5,500 nonfiction books and podcasts in just 15 minutes. Within the app, you can use the search feature to search for your favorite authors or book titles and add them to your playlist library, which you can either listen to now or later. And based on your previous history, you can look for similar blinks or recommended blinks and also add those to your library. I can then go back through my saved list and listen to those while I'm cleaning and getting stuff done, or browse through the blinks that I've already finished. In my library, I do have some mindful topics as well as parenting topics, but one that stuck out to me was Brene Brown's Rising Strong. In this quick blink, it goes over how to become more confident after you feel like you've been defeated or failed at something. Fear of failure is often what stops us from trying new things, whether that is with parenting, organizing, trying or starting a new routine, or even trying to start a business. She states that one thing that you have to do in order to take risks and really build confidence and rise strong is to commit to failure and accept that you will fail, but you're not the only one that has failed either. The experience after failure even helps encourages those around you. So this one I highly recommend, especially if you are craving a change but very scared to get started. Blinkus also offers a new feature called Blinkus Connect, where with your membership, you can actually share the membership with a friend or family at no additional charge. You can then recommend titles and share favorites to each other. Blinkus is offering all of you guys a 7-day free trial plus 25% off the Blinkist annual premium membership by using the promo link in the description box below.
Kiss still burning, didn't know I missed this passion in life. Now I'm addicted somehow. Let me tell you what is up with your smile? It's impossible, not melting, irresistible. When I look through your eyes, not even sky's the limit. I used to be satisfied, get over this surface.
So the girls had a little bit of a fashion show in the living room, so that's why I'm picking up shoes and dresses and putting them by the stairs. I also ordered some stuff for fall decorating, and you know, I don't ever fold up my boxes and put them away. I just stuff them in the garage, and then Chris, my husband, can definitely take care of, you know, folding them down, putting them in the recycle the right way. But I did mention that I was about 2 weeks postpartum whenever I started cleaning. I thought that I could get so much more done today than I actually did. So it is broken up into 2 separate days. I had also said in one of my previous videos that I was going to hire someone to help me clean the house while I was at the hospital, so that way I could come home to like a spotless house. They could have deep cleaned all the areas that I couldn't get to. At the very end of my pregnancy, I was exhausted. The position that he was in was such an uncomfortable position. And I also had sciatic nerve pain, which is just like a pain in your back that kind of shoots down your leg. So It was hard for me to walk and just basically hard for me to do stuff overall. Even though I kind of like pushed through it in some of those in videos, I just want to say that I was really exhausted. But that being said, I never did get around to hiring anyone because I had an induction date scheduled. So we were supposed to go in on a Wednesday night on August 11th to get induced, but I actually went into labor on my own that Saturday. So like I was ready, but not really ready, where I didn't have everything scheduled out and planned like I normally do. So we are just taking it day by day right now. I've been trying to keep up with dishes and laundry as best as I can, but I do feel a little bit delusional with the lack of sleep I've been getting. Now, we are so blessed that Rye is such a good baby. He really is, and I just love sitting and cuddling him. I don't know if it's because this is going to be our last baby that I'm just like soaking everything in, but he is the sweetest. But with every newborn, you know, they do get up every 2 to 3 hours to eat, and he for sure does that. So this is no doubt a 24-hour around-the-clock job. So I'm washing some dishes, washing bottles. Yes, I am pumping and breastfeeding, but in there, you're probably wondering why I just noticed I have Starbucks cups that I washed. And at my girls' school, they asked us to bring some recyclable items for one of the projects that they're doing. And I'm like, well, I have a ton of Starbucks cups because that's basically what I've been living off of. So that's why I'm cleaning and washing them so that they can bring them to school for their project. So next I'm going to finally clean out all of the sink area and get all the crud and stuff that's underneath the sink where all of the food stuff piles up. I now know to put the racks in the washing machine and just go ahead and wash those racks in there so that I don't have to do anything. But before I get started, little Rye was fussing a little bit, so I'm going to go and kind of hold him to see if I can get him calmed down, probably feed him, and then get back to the cleaning.
You had me at hello, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too.
You can ride out all the blues.
So as I clean out the sink and some other areas in the kitchen that I hadn't gotten to in a while, I'll go ahead and tell you guys what happened that Saturday. So the night before, we went out to eat to a nice steak dinner, kind of like our last dinner with just us two. And that morning, Saturday morning on August 6th, I woke up at 7 in the morning and I was like contracting a lot. They weren't super painful contractions, but I noticed that they weren't kind of slowing down, and I did not want to go to the hospital and get turned down. Like, no, you're not in labor, go home. So that was like one of my fears. So I was like, I'm just gonna kind of, you know, get some stuff done around the house and then they'll go away probably, because I do have 2 other daughters, if you are new here, but was induced with both of them, so I didn't really know what it was like to go into labor naturally. So I just did not expect it to happen. And even my doctor told me, you know, you're probably not going to go early if you didn't with your others, but you know, there's always a possibility. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm not going into labor. It's just, you know, Braxton Hicks contractions. So by 12 o'clock, I was like, man, I started timing them and they were like 5 to 15 minutes apart. Again, not unbearable, but really annoying. So that's when I started packing stuff up, because I did not have my hospital bag ready. I didn't have the girls' clothes ready because they were going to stay with both my parents and Chris's parents. And at about 12 o'clock, I was like, Chris, can you call your mom? Maybe she can come here and we can just go to the hospital for a little bit and get checked. And then he called her, and she was like far, on the other side of town. So I was like, okay, no, I'll just, wait it out and see what happens. So I really debated about going in, and then like around 2 o'clock, I started just packing things up, and I was like, Chris, why don't you just take me to the hospital, drop me off, have them check me, and then they're probably going to tell me to go home, and then you can just come pick me up. Because at this point, we really didn't have anyone to watch the girls. I didn't want to call his mom or my mom to come drive 45 minutes across town for me to go to the doctor for a few minutes and then tell me to go back home. So I didn't want to inconvenience anyone. And I just said, you take the girls, you drop me off, and then we'll see, what they say. So at around like 4 o'clock, he dropped me off maybe it was like 3 o'clock. He dropped me off in the emergency room because it was Saturday. So the hospital was closed, and they took me in, and they were like, no, this is like a 3-hour process because we have to check you and then we have to monitor you. And I was like, oh, I thought it was going to be like, go in, check me, come out, tell me I'm staying or tell me I'm going, whatever. I don't know how it worked. So I went in, and they were like, okay, you're 3 centimeters dilated, but like he's really high up. So he hasn't dropped yet. And you're only a little bit effaced, which is like thinned out, I guess. So they said that there was a high chance that I was probably going to go home. But when they hooked me up to the monitor, she was like, you are contracting a lot. And luckily, my doctor was on call that weekend. So I was really fortunate to have my doctor there. So after about an hour, they were like, we'll just keep monitoring you, and then we'll come and check you again in an hour. But most people don't see any results when you're, when it's at where the level you're at. And then she came back in an hour, kind of letting me know she was probably going to release me, but checking me one more time. And she was like, oh my goodness, you've progressed. Now you're 4 centimeters dilated, and he's dropped, quite a bit. So she's like, let me go see, your doctor's here on call. So let me go find her, and then stay here. We'll monitor you for 1 more hour. And like I told Chris, I'm like, they're still going to monitor me, but, we'll see. And then 5 minutes later, she comes in and she's like, no, we're admitting you tonight. And then I'm like, Chris, they're admitting me tonight. So drop the kids off, come here, do whatever. So they got me up into a room. They got me changed. I'm waiting on Chris. They're like hooking me up and doing everything. And he's like, tell him to wait. Don't have the baby. I'm like, I'm not going to have the baby right now. So then he gets there. And then like within a couple of hours, my contractions still weren't hurting. So I figured I had a lot of time. But then like within a couple of hours, I was already 7 centimeters dilated, which 10 is like where, you're ready to go. So they gave me the epidural. So I did get cleared for the epidural. I was very on the borderline because of my low platelet count, but they ended up sending it off downtown, consulting with my hematologist, and I ended up getting an epidural, even though I wasn't in excruciating pain, even being 7 centimeters dilated. But what happened when they gave me the epidural is my blood pressure dropped a lot, so they had to give me like extra fluids and stuff. And, I was kind of getting dizzy and stuff, and I think that kind of stopped my labor a little bit, whereas the other 2 girls, it didn't, but I was, getting Pitocin and stuff, or getting induced. And so after 2 hours, my labor wasn't progressing enough. So they kind of said for me to rest. They put me in a couple of different positions. And then, so my contractions still were like monitoring. They still were like 5 minutes apart. So they weren't super close up. And they waited about 3 hours to check me. So about 2:30 in the morning, they came in and was like, we're going to check you one more time. And they were like, oh, he's right there. Like, you're ready. You're ready to go. So they called everyone in. And then I one push and he was out. So he must have been there. Obviously I couldn't feel anything because of my epidural. But he must have been like ready to go for a little bit. So within one push, he came out, and Everything was perfect. We are so blessed. He came out 7 pounds, 12 ounces, 20 inches long, and just the perfect little guy.
Into your driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes. Girl, I can tell that you have something on your mind. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax. All your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes. I know you're all about the good vibes. Do you know how much I love you? Wanna see you smile. Where's that happy girl that I know with a heart on fire? I'll do anything to make it fun.
Now, doing laundry for 5 is no joke. Because it's not just about the clothes anymore. It's also about the towels and the sheets and the washcloths and the rugs and everything else that goes along with it. And earlier in this video, I showed you guys these pants where the diaper leaked through, and I used this Mrs. Mouth's stain remover, and it seems to have worked pretty good. I saw that stain remover on Amazon, and it says that it's for like messy eaters, like if they get food all over, but it seemed to have gotten that out of the washing machine. So now I'm going to switch them out and move them over to the dryer. I just like to check if there is something that is stained. I like to see if the stain is out before I move it to the dryer, because once I feel like it's dried, then it's done and there's nothing that can be done about it. So if there is still a stain on it, then I try something different, like maybe soap and water. Or what are y'all's suggestions for getting stains out? I like to do something different and then rewash it before it is fully dried.
There's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax. All your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes. I know you're all about the good vibes. Let's have a drink, just relax. All your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes.
So as I mentioned before, I'm about 2 weeks postpartum when I am doing all of the cleaning and filming, and I do plan to document kind of my postpartum journey. I started a highlight over on my Instagram, Michelle O'Malley 711, that says postpartum, where I kind of talk about how much I weighed whenever I gave birth, how much I've lost so far, what are some of my goals, and then I do have pictures of like what I looked like 12 hours postpartum all the way up to now. So I don't know if you're interested in following kind of postpartum journey, some of the things that I do to reach my goals, which I do hope to reach my goals in the next 4 to 6 months, exercises and stuff like that. Whenever I am cleared to exercise, then you can follow me along there. I'll be sharing all of that. But another thing that I wanted to mention, especially if you love organizing and organizing conferences and stuff, is that back in June I was selected and also volunteered to be a guest speaker at the Get Organized HQ virtual conference. In this conference, there's over 100 women guest speakers that talk about a variety of topics such as organization, time management, decluttering, and more. It's completely online and it runs from September 12th to the 16th. I am talking specifically about working through a lack of motivation. So use my link below and you can get a free ticket to the conference. It's a virtual video that I worked really hard on, so I would be really excited if you did decide to join this free event.
Hold up just a minute. Been looking for some help just to find myself. Yeah. Been losing my focus like 1,000 times before. Can't take this anymore. 'Cause I've been looking for something to change thoughts into motion. Been waiting way too long. Yeah, waiting just for somebody to love and to surround me.
So the two biggest questions that I've had since having Rye is, how am I adjusting, and how did I come up with his name? So question one, how am I adjusting? So I'm definitely hanging in there. Like I didn't remember postpartum with the girls. I must have like blacked it out, but it is an adjustment. You're still in pain afterwards. You still have a lot of stuff going on afterwards. And then you're also trying to figure out feeding your baby. Breastfeeding, I've mentioned, was difficult for me. So we are breastfeeding, but with him, like the third time around, one thing that I've done differently is not stress so much about it. Like with the girls, I think that it kind of like took my focus off of spending time with them and caring for them and soaking it all in, because I was so worried about getting them breast milk or trying to feed them or trying to figure out the schedule. And I think this time around, I was like, you know what? You're getting a bottle at 3 days old. I'm going to pump as much as I can. And if you don't go back to, breastfeeding after that, then I'm not going to stress about it. And, luckily he did. So we're able to do both, and it has gotten better. It was a little difficult at first. It has gotten better, but I think that this time around, I'm just allowing myself to be more laid back about things, and know that, regardless of which way or which decision or how he handles it, that we're just going to go with the flow. And me just kind of stepping back and like taking care of myself and just letting things be has been such a different experience. And I wish I would have done that with the other two. So not letting anyone pressure me into doing things a certain way or being a certain way or, judging me for certain things has just been such a relief. So if you didn't see my clean and nest video, I have in the office is where I have this little station set up where I have like diapers, wipes, burp cloths, and swaddles. And then in our bedroom, we just have the bassinet. And then upstairs is all the rest of his stuff. So that's where that little room is. The next thing I plan to clean is the bathroom. So when you're postpartum, you have all of the things that go with postpartumness. So I have a little station set up next to our toilet in the bathroom, but I am planning on cleaning out this area. So another thing that goes along with like, how am I adjusting is like, how are you getting stuff done? And I've always said this before was like, not having a to-do list, but just having like a priority list and having a realistic expectation. So before like I had him, I was like, I'm going to get all these videos done. Maybe I can do 2 videos a week. Maybe I can, do this and that. And I'm like, man, feeding him takes an hour, so I need to like reevaluate my expectations because he is my number one priority and that is my full-time job. And then, if I can just get 1 video edited in a day, then I have accomplished a lot. Or if I can just get the kitchen picked up in a day, then, that is a big accomplishment for me. So how am I getting things done? It's just like, what is the one thing I want to do today along with taking care of him? And, today for me, it's doing my voiceover for the video. Another day it is, making sure the kitchen is done or folding all of the laundry that is overdue. So just kind of scheduling 1, maybe 2 things a day. And then everything else is all family, all baby, all kids. And then schedule in the housework in between. Now, the girls do go to school. So if they stayed home with me 24/7 while I'm with a newborn, while also trying to get the housework done, I would literally lose my mind. I don't know how you other moms do it. You guys are like rock star superstars. But right now I have 3 kids, 4 and under. And let me just tell you, the weekends are chaotic. Even with help from my husband, I still lose my mind because, trying to get Rye adjusted and feeding him and then having the girls run outside. And I'm like, no, nobody's watching you outside. Come back inside. Just trying to get everything adjusted is just, I wouldn't be able to do it. So here's what I mean. I have to stop a little bit what I'm doing. I normally take out all of the stuff that I have to do in between, but I'm leaving it in. So with my newborn, with Rye, he needed a little bath. So I stopped for a minute, gave him a bath. He is not happy about being cold. but that's just a little real life moment. And then now I'm back to the cleaning after he's fed, bathed, and happy.
I'm looking out from my window. Sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. I don't make a sound when I shut the door.
So I did want to ask and get y'all's feedback. I received a couple questions, about like scheduling your day. How are you managing it with a newborn? How do you prioritize things? Like questions along that. Would y'all be interested in like a day in the life routine that, obviously it involves cleaning, picking up, getting stuff done. I haven't done those. I know a lot of people do day in the lives. I wasn't really sure how interested any of you guys would be in that, because I really do stick a lot to cleaning, motivation, decorating, and home project makeovers. So leave me some feedback if it's something that you're interested in, or not really, just kind of stick to the same old. There's no right or wrong answer. It would just be what you guys are interested and not interested in. But now I'm in my closet. It is still not immaculate, but it is still cleaned and picked up and organized. And I am so excited. I will go through and do another declutter once I'm out of all of my maternity clothes. And so I can go ahead, give those back, donate those, and then, get back into my regular clothes and really stay on top of the decluttering.
Saxophone, we'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone.
So another question was, where did we come up with Rye's name? Because we didn't announce his name until he was born. And, there is no special meaning. His name is Rye River. And there's no special, meaning behind it. We just liked the name. I really liked the name River. So we have Sailor. If you guys have been here, Sailor is our oldest daughter. And then Savannah's our middle daughter. And then I just was loving the name Rye. We had so many questions if we were going to keep it an S, but I didn't want to just stick to an S name and then settle for a name that I just wasn't in love with, if that made sense. There was a lot of Rye names that I liked, like Riker, Ryler, Rylan, like all of these names just kept coming to me, and I'm like, oh, I like that one. I like that one. And then Chris's middle name is Ryan. So we kind of just said, what if we just named him Rye? It wouldn't be a nickname. It would just be his name. And that name kept growing on us. So after a while, we were like, we just love the name Rye River, and we are going to go with that. It's something different, which we wanted. We wanted to be unique, but not like way out there. So we thought that was just a happy medium. And now we just love calling him Rye River. But next, I am heading upstairs. It is another day. The playroom is clean. The girls have been really good with keeping up with it, but I do have a basket that I keep downstairs. So if any toys are brought downstairs, instead of like going upstairs every single time to put a toy away, we put it in the basket. And then, at the end of the day, or the end of, a couple of days when it's full, I'll bring it back upstairs and then put those toys away. Also, we just made over the girls' bedroom, so I'm going to put some of their stuffed animals away while they are at their preschool, and get this room kind of picked up for them, so they can come home to a clean room.
Like being on my own, I could use someone to hold. And I've been trying to fill the void, but my bed is getting cold. Cause I don't have you, I don't have us, at least not anymore. You said you had to go away, just to figure out who you are. And I'm in this empty house, with your pictures on my wall. But I don't have you, I don't have us, at least not anymore.
Now this vacuum I have stays upstairs, and every time I use it I get a question about it. It is a really old Shark vacuum. I want to say I've had it for probably over 10 years. I can't even link it because it's so old. I don't think they sell it anymore, but I think it's similar to the Shark Navigator Pet Plus that I looked up that is more current. But as I finish up this video, I did want to let y'all know that in the next couple of weeks I will have some fall decorating and some more decluttering, cleaning, and organizing videos up. So I do hope that you'll subscribe and make sure you click the bell notification so that you don't miss when a new video does come out. I also wanted to quickly remind you that you can get a 7-day free trial and 25% off of Blinkus annual premium membership using my code in the link below. But I'll see all of y'all next week for some fall decorating.